Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk, let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk, let's talk. What you wanna talk about?
Kitchen talk.
Let's talk. Let's talk. What you want to talk about?
Oh no. What's up?
Hi.
How are you?
You look different.
Yeah, I got a haircut.
I know what I'm talking about.
It's the same old, same old.
It ain't the same old, same old.
Yeah.
How are you doing?
Good, just in another location, but I'll be back in my kitchen, cooking it up.
Good, good, good. Oh my goodness. Like, I miss you guys. Like, we've been off for like 2 weeks.
2 weeks has been a lot going on, but we made it.
It's like so much going on that it's almost like, where do you start?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so, this is Kitchen Talk, CTC.
Conversations that cook.
And that's what they do. I am Lisa LeRae. This is Fransley Moist.
In the flesh.
Hopefully, JT Plummer will be joining us, and possibly Dr. Marvin Scotts will be joining us. And then we have a special guest that should be logging on in a little bit. And we're going to talk to her. Listen, it is National Women's History Month.
Yes, celebrate it.
Let's celebrate the ladies, the women,
yes,
the sheroes. Oh my goodness! Like so much, so much. I'm in the mindset of what's the man's name? James Brown. It's a man's world. But it wouldn't be nothing. Nothing without a woman or a girl.
Oh man.
So y'all just ain't gonna be able to do life.
Oh, well, it's the opposite too now. Let's get it. Let's get that clear. Let's get that clear. I had a student today was like, Mr. Moist, you actually gonna let me pick up something? It's Women's History Month. Oh, you right. You right. I got you. Don't worry about it, sister.
Women's History Month. Women's History.
Celebrate. You can celebrate.
Yes, we celebrating. But you know what? Like, just like I do the Black History, I am Black History 365. I am all woman 365. So I celebrate every day.
Well, we have another lady to celebrate here.
Yes. So let's welcome to the kitchen, Erika McFadden. We are so excited to have you here.
I'm so excited to be on. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we hear you.
Thank you so much.
Pretty lady. We can see you too.
Good. I'm so excited to be on tonight.
And I am excited to have you on as a part
Mm-hmm.
of. I was just thinking, you know what, I'm just gonna use March. And because I'm the executive producer, I can do
Mm-hmm.
that. I'm just
Mm-hmm.
gonna use March. We're gonna bring some ladies in and we just gonna chop it up and
I love it.
and celebrate the women. Celebrate the women.
Yes.
And what I do love about my co-host
Mm-hmm.
is they have no problems with that.
Not at
Awesome.
all. Not at all.
Awesome. Awesome. Awesome.
No
Well,
problems with that.
we celebrate the ladies 365. So that's what we
365.
do on here.
Absolutely.
We do. We
Absolutely.
do.
Good. Good.
Absolutely. It is a great time to be
Mm-hmm.
alive. I know we have all kind of things going on in the world, but if you just be grateful for today, I think we can get to tomorrow and let tomorrow take care of itself. So I am grateful to have this platform to share and to spark conversation and thoughts and hopefully progress us in a more positive manner um, than some of the things that we do see.
Yes.
And one of the things that I believe is going to help us do that is this lady right here and this wonderful little book right here. Is she frozen? She
I
frozen.
think so. I was like, is she frozen? Yeah,
She's
she's
frozen. She's
frozen. Yeah.
frozen.
Yeah.
So this is I'll just talk about it till she get back. So she is actually she is the first lady of my church. She is
Okay. I was like,
had-
McFadden.
yeah, yeah,
McFadden.
yeah.
Love it. Love it.
So we've had my pastor on a couple of times.
That's right. That's
Yep.
right. Had to
So
have the king on first now.
you know what? What you're not gonna do? That's what
Not on
you're not
Women's
gonna do.
History Month. Not on Women's History.
That's what you're not gonna do.
Oh God, I'm done.
The very it is not often that you can say somebody is the same way every time you see them.
Mhm.
And I say this about France all the time. Every time you see France, he is the same way. I actually had to ask him, "Do you ever get angry? Do you ever get
Oh,
upset?
I'm always angry.
amazing.
Do you ever have a bad day?" I think we had that conversation one time. It's like, do you ever have a bad day? Because no matter
Wow.
where we've been knowing each other, Lady E, for years,
Years.
and not
Wow.
and not so much like I know all his business, he know all my business. Just
Right.
that connection of knowing people and your spirits are kind of kindred. I
Yes.
mean, when I say flat out the same all the time,
Wow. That's
and when you
amazing.
it is. And so I said that to say that in the 6 years I've been knowing Lady E, the same. Like
Wow.
like in the street, in the church, it don't matter. She is
Wow.
the same. And it's just so genuine and authentic because you can't really fake that.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's hard to fake.
It
Why
is
be a
Right.
fake when you could just be
you can't
yourself?
fake, just be
Yeah.
Right.
yourself.
Why fake it? Just be
Just be
yourself every
yourself.
It's
It
hard.
time.
is
It's hard to keep up a fake image.
it
Yeah, it
is.
is. That's
So
correct.
after a
That
while,
is
it gets
correct.
tiring. You don't really know what you're doing anymore. Like it's
Yep.
just much easier to just be yourself.
It's
That's
much
right.
easier. It's
That's
much
right.
Yeah.
easier. And what I think I heard somebody say, be yourself because everybody else taken.
That's it. That
I'm
is
just
correct.
Taken. Right.
so just be the best. Just be the best you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
you know what? Be the
Right.
best version of you.
Yeah. Just
And
be the
Right.
that's
best you.
probably it right there. Work
Yeah.
hard to be
Yep.
better, a better version of you each
Yeah.
day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Until that
Absolutely.
version, that's just the version. It don't
Yes.
Right.
it's just
Right.
you. Yeah.
Right.
Just be you. So
Yeah.
So what's up with this book?
this book. This
Hey.
book. Oh my
Oh,
goodness.
look
Crowds hide cowards, turning
Yes.
ideas
Yes.
into realities. and working the details of your own dreams. Oh my goodness.
Yes.
So I have been digging in. I hadn't gone like all the way in because
Uh-huh.
I'm scared. She gonna put me to work. Hey Shima.
In your business.
She gonna I can't read it too much because she gonna put me to work. I already know.
See. That's what it is.
You start finding what you needed to do.
Right,
They're talking
right.
about me.
She gonna put me to work. I already
about
know.
me.
But it is let me ask you this. And this is usually the first question I ask, especially when we get to talk to authors. What made you write it?
So it was, man, I started, the idea came maybe about, that's been over 3 years, right? But I sat on it for a long time. And originally it started with a different title, something else. It was going to be an autobiographical sketch. And then eventually I just found like, no, these nuggets are, I found that some of the details of it, some of the things that I was talking about weren't necessarily relatable to me, but just a message that I felt like I needed to get out. And so it came to me, I was sitting on the couch one day and I just heard the name, just like I just kept hearing about crowds just standing out, being different. And I started writing, just different words and things like that. And I was like, wait a minute, like what kind of play? I'm good at doing a play on words.
Yes, you
So,
are.
like, what kind of play on words can I do with this? And I just like had cowards. I'm like, how would this work? And at that time, I was kind of back and forth with some things, personal things. And I was like, you know what? Trying to fit in and do what everybody else is doing or doing what makes everybody else comfortable. It's not really who I am. I'm a pretty radical person. Like I'm shy at the same time, but I'm a pretty radical person. So I knew that it was never for me to be in a crowd of people. Like I've always seen myself like the crowd might be black and white, but I've always seen myself like in all these spectacular colors, right? So I started writing that down and I started applying it. And I'm like, wait a minute. No, like this is actually pulling me out of my shell. And this is actually making me work the details of my purpose and why I'm actually here. I'm not just here to do this or do that or do what the average person is doing. No. And so many other people can relate to the same thing. So I'm like, crowds hide cowards. It's so many people doing the same thing. Who are you? What are you called to do that's different that might not have been done before? Do that. Might seem weird, might seem crazy, but do that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And even sometimes it could look like the same thing, but it's something uniquely different about the way you do it.
Yeah.
That's what you need to, hone in on.
Absolutely.
Like
and
people cook spaghetti, but everybody has their different
twist,
seasoning, whatever.
Right.
Pasta, some people use angel hair, some people use, some people, you just never, you never know. It's spaghetti, but yeah.
Exactly. And in one of the chapters I talked about different types of people, right? And one group that I dealt with were the people that's just good at a whole bunch of things. So growing up, when you're young, it's like, what do you want to be when you grow up? Like you just have the option to be this one thing, right? But you're so talented in so many different areas, but it's like, no, I'm going to put those things on the back burner because I got to focus on one thing. So one chapter I kind of dug into the people that felt like their mind was a bit chaotic and you were all over the place. And it's like, I'm not good at one specific thing. I'm good at a lot of things. So what am I supposed to do with that? Like, no, do that. Whatever you're good at, do that. And I also talked about everything that you're good at is not necessarily a money-making strategy. Some things you're just supposed to do for the good of other people. Some things, it's a job, it's a business, but there are other things that you're supposed to do just to help the earth, just to help the world. So yeah, it kind of goes there and kind of gets into a lot of different things, but yeah.
So I see your wheels turning, France.
You know it. You already know. You know, I like the concept. I really do. I'm thinking of not the cowards, but the crowds.
Mm-hmm.
So, do you talk about both, not just the the person who's trying to get out of the crowd? Do you also talk about the crowd itself and how it may hide the coward or stop the person
Mm-hmm.
from developing who they truly can be?
A little bit.
Okay,
Majority of the book is about the individual.
gotcha.
I may dig into the crowd just a little bit, but the majority of it is the focus on the one person. Like, nope, you stand out.
Right.
Yeah.
Get out. You've been comfortable. You've been doing this, but now it's really about you. Yeah.
And because when I thought of it, I thought of, can the crowd be both positive and negative?
Mm.
On the one hand, negative because it's stopping you from developing the individual from becoming who the individual can be.
Right.
But it also can be positive because
Mhm.
it's shielding the individual for the time
Right. Right.
when it's the time for the individual to say, okay, now it's time for me to,
Right.
step out.
Exactly.
What are your thoughts?
So when I think about that, it's more so not necessarily that the crowd is trying to be negative,
Mhm.
but it's more so like we grow up in a group of people, right? We're in school, all of our environments, we're just around a bunch of people. When is the moment for you to stand out and move yourself from everybody else and say, okay, now it's just like seasons change.
Right.
Now it's time for me to do something a
Mhm.
little different. Okay,
Mhm.
everybody else is going to the left. I might need to go to the right. Everybody else is drawing squiggly lines. I might need to draw triangles, something like that. Like, when is it time for you to actually say, okay, now I need to do something different?
Mhm.
Because it's not necessarily about, it's actually about stepping out of your comfort zone.
Correct. And that's how I was
I was
thinking.
just about to
going
say
a-
that the crowd is comfortable.
the
It's
crowd is
comfortable.
comfortable.
The,
It's
the
like,
crowd is comfortable. It's a safe space.
It's
right.
camouflage. You can
Mhm.
hide yourself.
Mhm.
Maybe it's safe, right? So if I try something and it doesn't necessarily work out,
Mhm.
it might not look as bad because everybody else is trying this too. But if I stand out and do something different
Yeah.
and it doesn't work out, that's the fear
Mhm.
of it, and it doesn't work out. Now everybody knows that this was my thing and it didn't work out.
Yeah. But not even that sometimes too,
Mhm.
the responsibility
Yeah.
that comes with showing who
The crowd
it is comforting.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. See, Rev is on the same. There it is. Because I was
Um,
thinking like
But
the
also,
church.
hold on, friends, 1 second. But I was thinking, we also sometimes run. If somebody knows that I can do something and I can do it well, then
Right.
I become responsible for that thing. And do
Mhm.
I want to be responsible for it?
Right. Right.
But then also not necessarily a risk of or fear of failure, but we have a fear of success as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
But I think that's where I like to play on the words because
Yeah.
you have to have that boldness and
Yeah.
that belief to say, okay, it's time for me to get out of the crowd.
Right.
It's time for me to become who I am designed to be. It's time for me to share my talents, my skills, my
Yeah.
knowledge to say, hey, I can do this.
Yeah.
But I was thinking of like growing up in the church, it's a very comforting, it's a very crowd, family centered, kind of
Mhm.
place. And there's that time that comes when, okay, you got to lead this,
Yeah.
sermon. You got to do blank and you got
Yeah.
to do blank.
Yeah.
So do we jump out? Does the crowd help us to develop? And that's why I was thinking about the crowd. Is it a positive, is negative? Does the crowd
Yeah.
help us to continue to develop and say, okay, let's help you to elevate? Or
Right.
we might be in let's say at a job where, you are in a comfort zone,
Mhm.
but instead of elevating you when they find out, oh, you got this skill,
Right.
you can do this. Oh, you got, just like you were
Right.
saying, you got multiple talents.
Yeah.
Does the crowd say, hey, it's time to elevate you
Mhm.
Does
on
the
the
crowd
job,
notice
or
though?
do
Do they notice?
suffocate you?
Do they notice? Because when you in the crowd, do they notice?
But
Because in
and
the
that's the
crowd,
thing.
you only seeing the people that's out front when you in the crowd.
Right.
If you go to a mega church, you talking about churches. If you go to a mega church, I can go to a mega church and hide all day long.
Yeah.
Ain't
Yeah.
nobody got to know I'm a preacher. Ain't nobody got to know I can do this. Ain't nobody got to know I do that. The pastor don't even know because he don't have see all the people. Which is, I mean, it's not. I'm not knocking
It's not a bad thing.
mega churches, but I'm just saying, as a senior leader, it would be hard for him to touch 1,000 people every day.
Right.
You know, and so it's kind of spaced out.
Mhm.
But if I just come, I'm coming to church. You might see my face all the time, but unless that crowd, somebody in that crowd seeks you out, then the crowd don't know what you got.
Well, I kind of disagree with that. I don't think they always have to seek you out. I think sometimes they just see the talent, they see the skills, they see your ability. And instead of suffocating you or not saying, hey, I see it, they say, oh, I see it. You need to do this. You need to go write a book. You need to go teach the class.
They see you.
They see you. Exactly.
It's not the same thing.
It's
he just want to argue with me. He loves to argue with me.
There's a difference.
Argue with me.
There's a difference.
And then you have to be careful of the crowd that you're surrounded by too.
Correct.
Because even people in the crowd, they may see it, but they may not want to see it.
Correct. Right. That's exactly
because just as comfortable as you are being in the crowd, they may be just as comfortable with you being in the crowd. Because I don't want you to go further than me.
Book number two.
I don't want you to do something that I'm not doing because it might actually be successful.
Book number two. Book number two already.
But you dug into one of my chapters I was going to talk about when you were saying knowing your value. I have a chapter called Values. And it talks about knowing just how valuable you are. And it actually talked about being in a work environment and how much, they can act like they don't appreciate you. But you have to know your own value. You have to know your own worth. And at what point do you just wake up and say, okay, this is not it.
And that's why I said, Lisa, there's a difference in terms of them seeking you and them seeing you, because you can still shine and they can see right past you. Sometimes they're not even looking for you. Sometimes they're looking for you, but you're not shining enough for them to see it. I think again, it's understanding that crowd and how's that crowd going to either again elevate or suffocate. And then two, are you going to be the person to say, okay, regardless of what the crowd is doing, am I going to step up and say, okay, it's time for me to show my value, show my worth, and be a light, because somebody may need that guidance, even within the crowd.
And that is really what the book really is about. Is
a push.
It's getting It's getting you, because I really believe once you really know your value, love yourself, you're not gonna too much let anybody treat you any kind of way, and it'll motivate you in a different kind of way. Like once I know what I can do, and I'm just doing it dry long so. But when I really know the value of it and the value of my gifts and the value of my talents, and that becomes, you know what? I'm worth it. And so maybe I do need to find another path. And not necessarily another crowd.
Even if that means standing out and walking along.
Correct. I would agree. Dr. Akbar, that's what he spent his entire career on. Know thyself. Naeem Akbar. Let me put it that way. Naeem Akbar really spent his whole career as a psychologist, helping people to the books and everything, the videos, as if everything was on that one topic. We need to know who we are, right? So on the eve of, or on the past month celebrating Black History Month, and now celebrating Women's History Month, do we know who we are? As African American, as the Black diaspora, as Black women, do we really know who we are, our power, our ability? Something to think about.
Absolutely.
And that's another thing that I talked about too a little bit was just growing up in the type of household I did. I had parents that always validated us. They always told us how valuable we were. And they did it, which my mom, especially with her daughters, she gave that to us. She gave us that validation so that when we left the house, so that when we were out somewhere and people told us these things, you're not arrogant, but I already know this, which means you're not giving me something I already know. You're just confirming it, but you're not giving me anything.
Right.
So I don't owe you anything because
Right.
you've sown something into me. You just confirmed what was already there.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Absolutely. And you're not flattered.
Right.
So much to the point of, oh my God,
Right.
My parents are like that too. They used to take us to nice restaurants and stuff like that. And because my dad was like, my biological father was like, he didn't want us growing up and going on dates and thinking we owe somebody something because they took us to a nice restaurant. We was used to that.
Right. Right. Right.
Oh, so he flew you out too, huh?
But when you know your value, when you know you're valuable, then you know how precious you are.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And you will not sell it.
Yep.
Absolutely. Yeah.
You will
my
not
aunt, one of my aunts is just absolutely my favorite. My husband laughs all the time. He loves my Aunt Gloria. But if you give her a compliment, she always says, "Oh, you're just saying that because it's true." you know, it's like I get what she's saying. It's funny, but it's like no, like you just need to know that about you. Like I know this.
Yeah,
you know, I know.
I love the statement because
it is a very, very fine line to walk in your confidence, and not cross over to arrogance.
Arrogance,
very fine.
But if it matches, if the shoe fits, as they say, you know what I mean? I think it's when you are when that's not you, and people give that to you. Well, that's not you, right?
Yeah.
But you accept it anyways. Oh yeah, girl, that's not you.
Right.
So then the arrogance, like our beginning of our conversation, now you're not in your authentic self.
Yeah. Right. Yeah.
So now your arrogance says, hey, I can be this, I can be that, but that's not you.
Right.
Yeah. Now, Lady E, one of the chapters that did kind of catch me, and I remembered what it sparked where we were, I forget whose church we were at. It was a evening or a revival or something that pastor had to do, and you were singing, but after you got through singing, you talked about excuses, about giving up the excuses, and then it's a chapter in the book talking about expire the excuses. Speak to that a little bit.
Okay, so I did a comparison to coupons, right? A certain store, there's a certain time to use the coupon. If you don't use your coupon by that time frame, you can't use it anymore. You can buy the item, but the discount won't be applied because it's expired. So what I meant when I was talking about the expiring excuses, basically it's everything that you can come up with in your mind as to why you can't do something, get rid of it. It's time out for it. You've done that long enough. Expire all the excuses. I can't because of this. It's not in the history of my family. Women not, necessarily doing that. Black people don't do that. Whoever. Any excuse that you can come up with, expire it. Time out for it. We've seen in these 2020 streets, 2021 streets, 2022 streets, 2023 streets. We don't have all the time in the world. You need to buckle down and do what it is that you need to do, what you're called to do. You're uncomfortable doing what you're doing anyway. You're uncomfortable. You know that it's not in your purpose. You know that you're not fulfilling everything that you're supposed to be doing. Expire it. Get rid of it. Do what you're supposed to be doing.
I got to cash that check tonight. You are, listen. And we do it so easily.
Yeah.
Easily. It's time to, those excuses, we got to expire them. I got this, I got that to do, I got this. No, but you got to get out of the crowd, and this is what you need to do.
Yeah.
Yep.
So go ahead and get it done.
Yep.
You
I
got
saw
me
a
on
post
that.
that
I got to
said,
cash that check.
I saw something that said, once it's expired, it's no longer good for you.
Oh,
And it was like,
wow.
this ain't just about food, about anything. Once it's expired, it's no longer good for you. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good stuff. Good
And
stuff.
we don't really look at it that way. But something you just said just now kind of sparked something in me too about what did you just said? Oh God, it just left me.
Mhm.
Okay, we just got to go on. Oh my God, I can't believe it just left me. It was about the excuses. Oh, about how we're uncomfortable in our current state, but we'll still make excuses not to move out of
Yes.
the
Yes.
uncomfortable place.
Yes.
Because the uncomfortable place is
Mhm.
still comfortable.
It's still
It's so
comfortable.
comfortable. It's so comfortable.
It's still
It's
comfortable.
easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's
It's
easy.
easy.
Right.
I know this uncomfort.
So I'll
Exactly.
deal with it.
I'm fine. I
Right.
can live with
Exactly.
this.
I can
Right.
do it with
I
my
can
eyes
live. I can
closed.
live
I
with a
don't have
little
to think about
hypertension.
it.
I can live with a little diabetes. I can live with a
Right.
little bit. I can live with this. I can live with
Right.
this chronic illness instead of
Right.
doing something about it.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
Where you
Right.
have control to do it.
Right. And
You have
I just
control to
take
do
the
it.
medicine. I just take the
Exactly.
medicine. Yeah.
Or not even necessarily taking the medicine. Doing what you need to do so that you don't have to take the medicine.
Take the
Right.
medicine.
A lot
Correct.
of
I
people
was
get
thinking the same
diagnosed with
thing.
something that can be fought. Like they'll say, "Oh, all you have to do is change your diet, just
Yep.
work out, do other
Yep.
things, yada yada yada."
Yeah.
But we rather just pop a pill so we
Yeah.
can keep doing the same thing that we have
I
been doing.
would
The
Because
agree.
same
it's
thing
Stay
we've
in
been
that comfort
doing. Yeah.
zone. Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
you know, it goes for me, Lady E, it goes deeper than that.
Mhm.
As a community, how much more can we do to get out of our comfort zone?
Mhm.
So we're not taking that type of medicine. So we
Right.
know what works for our bodies, our
Right.
systems, right? So
Mhm.
when do we say, hey, you know what? Institutions, we need to step it up and get out the
Yeah.
comfort zone and start saying, what do we need to do for ourselves? I
Exactly.
said this to your husband.
Mhm.
I said, Doc, listen, man. And that's why I love your church, because he was real that day, right? Like, hey, you know, we don't have to do church the same way. Sometimes we just need to take a day and exercise.
Yeah.
Sometimes we need to take some time out to breathe, to
Yeah.
meditate, to just think, to create, to design, to say, hey, as a community, what can we do? But
Right.
because we're so used to staying in the comfort zone,
Yep.
our community never really grows.
Yeah.
Yeah, the membership may grow. You get more people to come in, they paying their
Right.
tithes and offerings, and it's, you know, we sing
Mhm.
our songs, you
Mhm.
know, praise the Lord.
Mhm. Mhm.
But after Sunday, what happens?
Yeah.
You know, is our community growing? Are you not just healthy mentally, physically,
Yeah.
emotionally, spiritually, but also financially?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Have you increased your education? You know,
Yeah.
are we putting the next generation
Right.
in a better
Better
position?
position. Yeah.
Right.
I
Right.
mean, you know,
Yeah. And when you talk about that generational stuff, I think about it from a medical perspective too.
correct.
Because a lot of times if we go to the doctor and they tell us, you know, it's because they know your history, you've given them your family history when you first apply, when you first did your application or whatever. And they go down the list. So then when it looks like you might be dealing with something that your mom or your daddy dealt with, they'll automatically say, oh, it's hereditary. It's automatically something that you're going to deal with as well. And we accept that. And I don't think that that's necessarily the case all the time. It's not that it's hereditary. It's that we've learned those same practices. So we're doing the same thing that they did before. We're eating the same stuff that they ate before. It's not that it's in our blood, it's in our mind. We're supposed to cook like this. Okay, you say cook it with olive oil, but my mama cooked it with butter. You know, and she added all this stuff to it. So now they're saying, oh no, it's hereditary. No, you're just reiterating practices that you're used to doing. So now you're gonna have the same results.
Yeah.
Correct.
You know, when you can't do something different and get different results, but you just accept, we have to stop accepting everything. We just accept it like, okay, yeah, that's what it is. Mom and daddy dealt with it. Give me the pill.
Right.
You know,
And
I just
if
like
they
that.
got it, I got it. And if
Yeah.
I got it, I'm passing it on to. No, I'm
Exactly.
not passing it
No,
on.
I'm not.
Yeah,
No.
and the crazy thing too is the doctor may not even look past that. He just see your history,
Correct.
and that might not even be what it is.
Exactly.
But
Exactly.
the also thing is about generation is if you just spend your time living in the crowd and you don't teach your children how to step out the crowd, then they gonna be crowd folk too.
And accepting of everything.
Everybody gonna be the crowd. So
Everybody else is doing it.
Pastor Mack's other comment about ministry is about growing people toward God, and it's bigger than Sunday, which is so very true. And
Yeah.
then it's not well, it's not in your blood, it's in your mind.
Yeah.
Oh, that's yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I
I mean,
think
granted, there are some things that do come
Right.
down your bloodline, but
Right.
there
Right.
are also some things that we can change.
Yes.
well, you know, that's again going back to Black History Month, and I'm gonna tie it back into Women's History Month. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we talked about Harriet Tubman last month.
Mm-hmm.
She got outside of the crowd.
Yeah.
The crowd said it was okay. We could stay
Yeah.
here. We could. She
Yeah.
said, "Nah, we need to get out of here,
We got to
Yeah.
go.
and I'm gonna come back and come and get you."
Yes.
And we have a generation of people who are dealing with health issues, who are
Yeah.
dealing with mental issues, who are
Yeah.
dealing with financial issues.
Yeah.
Where is that Harriet Tubman to say, "Okay, I'm getting out the crowd"?
Right.
And saying, okay, you know what? Now we gonna let our people go.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
I'll be the one to be the next Surgeon General, the
Right.
next person to come up with a better way to heal, the better way
Right.
to treat, a better way to cope with all types of issues.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
We got to cultivate, and that's why I got to go back to the crowd. Sometimes the crowd has to be there to elevate the individual.
Mm-hmm.
So that they can break out and go and do greater
Sure.
things. You know what I
And
mean?
I think
So
you speak to that a little bit, Lady E, when you talk about the midwife. You know,
Mm-hmm. For sure.
finding the people around you. You know, because I've said this many times too. I'm looking for my Naomi. I'm still single. Where's
Yeah.
my Naomi? I'm out here
Right.
working. Where is Naomi?
Right.
Naomi's gonna leave you to Boaz.
Naomi to put out the kids.
Everybody looking for Boaz, you looking for Naomi.
Naomi was the one that got it together.
Naomi gonna lead you to the promised land. That's the crowd right there.
Right.
Where is Naomi?
Right.
But
Oh, what a
yes,
analogy.
you definitely want to step away from the crowd and be an individual. But at the same time, I think we have to help the crowd refocus maybe in such a way that we begin to help each other. Because we just can't, you can't do everything by yourself. You need somebody.
Right.
And as much as I love God and I love Jesus, he put some people here.
Well, that's what he does.
You know, he put some people here.
Yeah.
So I think that definitely you need to find. So maybe that's another way to look at it. How about, can you find your crowd that you can't hide in?
You know what?
Right.
When you said that, I thought about, and I know we're going to the Bible today, Lady E. Even Jesus went to find his crowd.
Yeah.
He didn't have to look for 12, you know. How much did he feed?
The 5,000.
He fed 5,000. Nah, I just need 12. I just need 12. So, you know, he found a crowd to help him do what he was called to do. And I guess that's part of it too. We got to find the right people. I told my students, it's birds of a feather flock together.
Flock together.
So finding that crowd that's going to help you accelerate the plan, elevate the plan, multiply the plan.
Right.
I think that is also a part of that.
And vice versa. You helping them.
Correct.
Right.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah. And I think when we look at it from that perspective, he left the multitude, but he still had a group.
He still had a group. Correct.
You know, So it's not necessarily trying to be out and do this out on an island by yourself. It's
Sure.
understanding that you still need people, but you're used to having 500 and you really only need 12,
You only
Yeah.
need 12.
you
Yeah.
know? So it's like, no. Let me just figure out how to get rid
Yeah.
of get away from the multitude
Yeah.
Yeah.
and just find my group, find my core.
Right. Right.
Mhm.
Find your village, find your
Yeah.
tribe.
Yeah.
And just to think of that, I could only think of one time when he was by himself in the
Mhm.
desert.
Mm-hmm.
And even then, he's not by himself because the Lord is with him.
Oh, absolutely.
So it's
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
you know, we need to have that support,
Yeah.
but we want to ensure that that support is again supporting us, not
Right.
suffocating us.
Right.
Right. Right.
Right.
Absolutely.
Exactly.
Mhm.
This so France, you're gonna have to get this. Now, Lady E,
We're gonna have to do a book swap.
yeah, because
Right.
you gotta get Chess for Life. It's wonderful.
Yeah,
Yes.
you gotta get to do
Yeah.
a book swap.
Please.
Definitely.
Please.
Would you say that your book is um women centered or is it more for everybody?
It's for everybody.
Okay.
Everybody.
It is
Just-
absolutely
I
for
haven't
everybody.
even read a word yet, and I'm like, that's a word.
Oh no, it
Everybody.
is absolutely for everybody.
I know that you have a heart for women and a heart for children.
Yeah.
And that's why I had to ask the question.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah. So like I said earlier, I haven't dug too deep in it because I'm being lazy right now and I don't she not finna put me to work.
You know, I'm thinking of like great women who got out of the crowd.
Mm,
Who I'm just trying to like, man, we just said Harriet
sure,
Tubman.
Harriet Tubman.
But I'm trying to think of, okay, who else in our current day to say, you know
Oh
what,
my gosh.
I'm gonna be the word is it's on the tip of my tongue.
I mean, we could probably look at Michelle Obama. We could
Michelle,
probably look
yeah.
at, she didn't go in the White House and just sit by and let her
Yeah.
husband just do everything. And she was just, the pretty person on his arm. She
Yeah.
worked the work.
Yeah.
And she's continuing to work.
Yeah.
We could look at one of my favorites, Oprah Winfrey.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
Yeah.
we could look at Erika McFadden. We could look at
And then from any end of the like we could look at the music side of it. Like
yeah.
I thought you was gonna say what your aunt told you always says.
oh, you're just saying it because it's true.
Because it's true. And honestly, if we really kind of Black women we always kind of had to step up
Yeah.
and step out.
Mm-hmm.
Or Black people.
Yeah.
Because we couldn't be the same normal as everybody else
No.
in the crowd. You always have to work harder. You always have to be smarter. You always have to, this,
Prove
and this.
yourself.
So it's kind of in us to go above and be better.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you look at I don't know. So I was a little girl when Gail Andrews, I think she was like one of the first Black female anchors on the local Tallahassee news.
Mm-hmm.
And then out of her you get what's the lady name? Carmen Cummings, and then you get a Lenitra Bennett,
Yeah.
So it's you could really kind of pick apart some folks, that are really doing it.
Yeah.
Even on campus,
I was getting ready to say that.
with our department chairs, like in the school that I'm in College of Social Sciences, Arts and Humanities.
Mm-hmm.
For the first time, we have a female chair of the History, African American Studies, and Political Science department.
Wow. Yeah.
And so, I mean, it's just you
And
get.
Fam also had a female drum major, right?
We had a
Yes.
female drum major. Yes,
Mm-hmm.
yes,
Well, you know,
phenomenal,
I mean,
phenomenal.
HBCUs in itself,
Yeah,
that's
Yeah.
yeah,
the outsiders in itself, you
yeah.
know,
Yeah.
So
Right.
we
individuals who
had
said we're
to.
gonna learn
Yeah,
whether you want us to learn or not. We're
Exactly.
gonna create our own institution.
yeah.
Exactly.
Going
And
back to what I was saying
you
earlier.
had to break away from,
Yeah,
you know,
traditional.
from the norm. Yeah,
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, we've always had to
Again,
work hard.
if we were able to do that at that time, what's stopping us from doing it now?
Right.
And I'm just not talking about education, but just going even further into the complexity of our society,
sure,
right? Okay,
sure.
how can we continue to uh, be the
But
shining stars?
I think we are friends. I really, I think we are. I think we still on, blazing trails. We got folks still
Mm-hmm.
blazing trails. I think the disheartening thing is that we have to still blaze trails.
Right.
No, I think that's part of it.
No,
I think
you understand what I'm saying
I
now?
do. I do.
Okay.
I
So I
do.
think that's the disheartening part.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that
I don't
by
know if it's
now,
disheartening. I think
by
it's
Right.
now you would
You
think
should
that
know who
we
I am.
wouldn't
You
have
should
to
know.
still be blazing
Yeah.
trails.
Yeah.
We wouldn't have to still be talking about whether we can talk about African American history in a
Right.
history class. If
I
you
would
just
say
tell the
it's the type
history,
of trail we're blazing because
if you
there's
just tell the
so
history,
many trails we still have not
sure,
even challenges. We have not even conquered. We have
Yeah.
not even tried yet.
Yeah.
There are some that we have, and at this point, you should recognize. But there's so much more that we can accomplish, so much more that we
Mm-hmm.
can
Mm-hmm.
do that we haven't
Mm-hmm.
even. And I think it's because we've been hiding in the crowd,
Yeah.
some of it could be that, some of it could you just ain't seeing it yet.
or the crowd is suffocating.
Oh,
And
the
because
crowd
we're
gonna
in that,
suffocate it because they don't want you to come out of there.
that's what I'm saying.
Right. Right. Right.
I
And
mean,
sometimes it might be that some of us have stood on the shoulders of those that have done amazing things, and then for some of us we kind of just stood in the background, stood behind them,
yeah,
hiding behind what they did.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And sometimes that's easy to do because if you look at history and you look at, you know, Black folks building a whole town, city,
Yeah.
and then somebody just come and wipe it out.
Yeah.
That
Yeah.
you
but
get a
but
little
that's what
you
I'm
get a
saying.
little
Yeah,
timid
yeah.
and trying to do that again. If
Yeah.
and
Outright.
rightfully so, because
That's
we
right.
don't deal with the traumas. See, this going in a whole
Yeah.
Oh, now
this
you
going
bringing me to my. You already know, Lisa.
Lord.
You already
because
know.
we have not dealt with
Yep.
the traumas
Yep.
Yeah.
that we face every day, the
Yeah.
anxieties that we face as a people
Yep.
every day, but yet we're expected to continue to blaze trails.
Yeah.
Well, is that part of the crowd? Is that part of the crowd where we say, you know what, you don't face it. You just stay in this comfort zone. You don't address it. You don't take the challenge.
Yeah.
Mm.
Or do we get in the crowd that says, hey, this is the challenge. This is the issue. And we
Yeah.
need you to blaze the trail. Here's the tools. Here's the resources. Here's what you need. It may not be my individual what we call mission,
Mhm.
but because it's your mission, my goal is to help you achieve that mission.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
Sure.
You know, so I do think that's the word I was looking for all night. Outliers. Where they, we need to get them out. We need
Yeah.
to get them out of the crowd to say, hey, it's your time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This is your time. Let's shine. Let's get our people, our community, and hey, they burned it down. They put it on the water, but guess
Yeah.
what? We can rebuild it.
Yeah.
And do it better than it was before.
Sure. Sure we
Absolutely.
can. I absolutely believe we can. I absolutely believe we are.
Yeah. I agree. I believe some people are. I do.
I cannot stand him sometimes, Lady E. And I'm trying to be good because you on here.
Listen,
But
I am.
But I think one of the things that we've seen a rise in entrepreneurs. Like we've seen so many people walk away from the everyday Monday through Friday, 9 to 5, stepping out on faith, doing, what it is that they're good at. They
yeah,
might not necessarily start off knowing that it's their purpose, but I just know that I'm good at this.
Right.
And I know that it takes up a lot of my time and I make good money doing it. So it might be something there, And that's another, way that this book comes into play. It's like to help the one that's already started something. It's to encourage someone to come out, but it's also to help the one that's already starting. Like, no, you're on the right path. Do what it is, and not necessarily that you're on the right path. It might not be a path. You might be blazing something.
Yeah.
You might be creating something, but do that,
And I'm for that. I'm an entrepreneur myself, but I also do still believe in, hey, you know what? It's the 9 to 5. You need to do X, Y, and Z to continue to take it to the next level. I may need to do it part-time, not full-time.
Yeah.
Or, figuring that out. Again, having the crowd there to support that, right? Because there are people who are going to suffocate it.
Yeah.
Is this your first book?
Yeah.
Boom. It's not easy being an author. And you already know, it's not, you have people like, well, what you did. And, oh yeah, we got you. But do you really? Do you really? Are you really giving us the support? Are you really elevating it? And then are we taking the context? Are we taking the information from the book, taking it out of the pages and bringing it into our community?
Yeah.
Putting it into action. That tells me, okay, we making some moves. So that's why, Lisa, I have that because until we can build that city, build that community, no.
That's why I don't talk to him all the time.
I see.
He don't like to give credit.
No, we got to be honest.
You don't give people credit.
We can't.
I'm sorry. I live in the real world. I don't know what world. I don't know what world France live in. I live in the real world, and I have to give people props that are trying to get this thing done.
Yeah,
with everything, and I see it because of where I work.
Yeah.
And when we get to the goal line, it get moved.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm for it, and not just
and
where
so that's
we
why,
work.
That's why my thing is we are trying. We doing what we know to do. We doing what we,
Yeah.
But for him, I'm like, I didn't create the system.
Yeah.
I'm trying to work within the system. I'm trying to learn how to play the game. I'm trying to play the game the best I know. But if the rule makers change the rules once they see me start winning, what can I do about that?
Yeah.
You gotta do what Lady E said in the book.
Own. And then I try to create my own. I create my own. I build my own. My own is thriving, and somebody come and burn it down or put it underwater. And so here I am back on the wheel again. I don't care. The superest of superheroes would be tired by now.
Yeah.
But that's what makes us who we are.
Absolutely. I'm not. That's why I keep giving us the credit for the resilience.
Yes.
And that's what I was gonna give you the praise on. That
we
are taking the
challenge. Thank you.
We are pushing forward. I give it to you. I give it to you all day. But we also still need to be very realistic in terms of we again going back to the book. Where are those outliers? Where are those outliers? Where are those people that need to that we may need to support to say, hey, we're at this level right now, but I know with our push and your purpose, man, you're gonna free a lot of people from this slavery.
Yeah,
Man,
and that's what
you're
I'm
gonna,
hoping that
you're
it
gonna take us
does.
to a whole nother level.
Right.
And that's what I'm saying, Lisa. I was watching something today on social media. This beautiful, beautiful picture of um, it's called a billionaire row in Africa,
Mhm.
right? Beautiful homes, but not too far from the homes are the shack towns.
Mhm.
And I'm like, man,
Yeah.
you guys are living off of this beautiful land. What else could we do to help the people in the shacks live a
Mhm.
little bit better?
Mhm.
You
Yeah.
got the tools, we got the resources.
Yeah.
Mhm.
You can make it happen so
Mhm.
Yeah.
that what's happening here is not happening over there.
Yeah.
We can't be the crowd that we're trying to fight against. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
All too often we fall into the trap. So
Yeah.
again, yeah, we making progress, but what more can we do?
I mean, absolutely. I agree with you in that respect. In some respects, I do agree with you. We
Mhm.
could be doing more, but
Yeah.
I also think that the more we do, okay, so Lady E,
Uh-oh. Okay, so
She always proves my
because I
point.
can't
That's
with
all it
friends.
is. She
I
always
can't
proves
with
my
friends.
point.
I
That's what it
can't
is.
because this I hate to harp on it until, and I have said this so many times, until there is an atonement, we're
Yep,
gonna
I agree with you.
stay in this cycle.
I agree with you.
And it is gonna be
But
it's gonna be
Lisa,
the few of us. It's gonna
mhm,
be some, of course, that are gonna come out and sprout
mhm,
and grow and spread their wings and fly through the skies. And we gonna always have those. But in
right.
order to bring everybody along, it's gonna have to be an atonement.
Yeah.
I agree to a certain extent because again, we talked about this. The atonement should have happened during the Civil War.
Mhm,
We talk about this all the time, Lady E. The
yeah,
Civil
mhm,
War, we fought for the country. We died
yeah,
for the
mhm,
country. We said
yeah.
this is
mhm.
it.
And you
And
did
then
all of
instead of
that,
killing the snake,
Right.
y'all let
all
him
of that,
free. And now
and
the
nothing.
snake is just getting bigger and bigger
Yeah,
because it's eating the crowd. You don't know who's
yeah,
good,
Yep.
who's bad. It's just all over the
Right.
place.
yeah.
At the same time, we can't wait for the atonement. We have to step outside of the crowd and say,
And I think
okay,
we are.
enough
Yeah.
is enough.
I agree
Yeah.
with you, and I think
Yeah.
we are. But what I'm saying is,
Mm,
until this system change, it's gonna keep pulling down.
yeah, hey,
It's gonna keep pulling down, and we're gonna keep fighting. I'm not saying we're not fighting. I'm not saying we're not moving forward. I'm just saying we always fighting.
well, let me
We
say
always
this.
we always pressing.
I am in good company because I'm with two people, two ladies, women's history month, who are blazing a trail. And I love that you guys are doing what you're doing. Keep it
Yeah.
up. Keep it up.
Yeah.
Because again, you might be the person to help somebody else
Absolutely,
Yeah. Yeah.
take it to the next level too. So
Absolutely.
absolutely.
And I'm hoping that what the main thing that this book does is it allows so many people to realize that although amazing things have been done, what you have has not been done yet.
Mm,
So
yes.
Harriet Tubman is amazing. She did amazing things. Rosa Parks was amazing. She did amazing things. But that wasn't the tip of the iceberg.
yeah,
What
Correct.
you have still hasn't been done
yeah,
yet. So
Yep.
still do that. Go after that. It may look crazy. Might not, might not be something around that exists like that, but
yeah,
it might be the answer that the crowd that you left needs.
yeah,
Man,
You
you
know?
you
yeah.
hit it, man. The word, man.
Absolutely.
Glass ceilings. Yeah, no, we got the glass
Yes.
ceilings. No, man. Take off like a rocket.
Yeah. Right.
Yes, yes,
Yeah. Do it.
yes.
Do it. Yeah.
Break the ceilings, break the ceilings, break the
Yes.
glass ceilings. However, we do need to take care of that person that break the glass ceilings because they the ones
Yeah.
get cut
Yeah.
by the glass. And
Man.
we have to take care of them.
Yep.
Yes. Yep. Absolutely.
This, you know what? She's so precious. Look how cute she is.
Ah,
I have
Expire.
Rev was like, "Hey, listen, the time has expired.
Oh,
No
the time.
excuses.
oh,
Give
Yeah.
my wife
yeah.
back."
Oh,
Did I do? I might have pressed that again, Lord. It might have been me.
Oh, look at
Maybe
that!
see
Look
what
at
I'm
God!
doing. I'm
Look at
sorry.
God!
okay. See?
But it was on time, whatever
Right.
it was.
Oh,
Wow.
I think he got one more down there. You may be the answer the crowd needs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
that
You see it?
yes. I think all of
JC,
us
you see that one?
said that.
But JC is our engineer in the background. That's my guy. Thank you.
Yep,
Oh yeah.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
You may be.
Yeah.
And the thing about it is so many questions that all of us could have an answer for
Yeah.
something.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right. And even
That's
for
why
each other.
I think book number 2 is gonna be focused on that crowd now. That crowd. Who that crowd gonna be? Where how that crowd
Uh-huh.
affects you in terms of you taking it to
Yeah.
your
Yeah.
next
Oh,
level.
Pastor
your
said
next
it
destiny.
wasn't me. He said it wasn't me.
It wasn't you or it wasn't him.
He said it wasn't him. He said it
Oh.
wasn't me.
Oh.
So where can they go to get this?
Oh, you can go on Amazon. We had some, but it's easier to go on Amazon and purchase it. You can look it up by the title. You can look it up by my name. It's also going to be in Barnes and Nobles, but I keep checking. It's not there yet. But for now, to get a copy right now, go on Amazon. And the turnaround time is really quick. I think they maybe 3 or 4 days or something like that.
One of my favorite places to shop.
Amazing. That's what I call them.
Especially since the pandemic.
Mm-hmm.
All I've been doing. I need to stop.
Go to the good Amazon.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So it has been such a joy as always talking to you.
Yeah.
Thank you for hanging out with us in the
Gotta come back.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for having me. I've had fun.
Good. And France, I'm glad he was on his good behavior.
I'm always on my good behavior.
I'm glad he was on his good behavior. I forgot to prep them before they came on and say, please be on y'all good behavior. This my precious coming on. Y'all can't act up with her.
It was good tonight.
You're good. Okay.
Yep.
He was on his good behavior tonight.
You know, the first time we give you a pass.
Oh, okay.
And next time, we going in.
They gave you a pass. When Pastor was on here, France was like, eh.
Oh yeah. But hey, it's a man's world.
But it wouldn't be nothing.
It wouldn't be nothing.
Without a woman or a girl. You better believe it.
We need each other. I saw somebody that put up something that said you can't spell hero without her. I was like, that's true, but you can't spell it without he either.
That's correct. You need each other. We need each other.
Yeah. We need each other.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, this has been Kitchen Talk CTC.
Conversations that cook.
If you are watching us on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're watching us on Facebook, hit the like button. Make sure you turn on your notifications so you will never miss another show. We will be right back here next Thursday at 9:00. And we're going to get into some current events. Yeah. That's what we're going to do next week. And Miss Kim Black, the parent snitch, will be back.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
We got some good stuff, too. Hide your kids, hide your wife.
Right. Oh my God.
It's crazy out here.
I'm scared.
You scared.
Some good stuff too, boy.
Ooh, I'm telling you, there's so much going on in the world, but we are so grateful that you took time out to tune in. This is one of my happy places that I get to come to on Thursdays. I love it. Thank you, France Lee Moist, for hanging out, being that guy, and being good today. I'm so happy he was good today. Thank you, Lady Erika McFadden, for hanging out with us in the kitchen. Appreciate you so much. Listen, you can get her book, as she said, on Amazon. JC, can you put it up one more time? Crowds hide cowards.
Yes.
There we go. There we go.
I love the cover.
It is nice.
Yep,
Yeah,
cover. Good
that
job.
is very nice. So make sure you get that. I think it will definitely do something for your life.
Mm-hmm.
I believe it. I believe it with my whole heart.
Yes.
It'll bless your life. Thank you, Pastor. Great show as usual. Yay!
I got one more question. I got.
We was about to get out almost on time.
I was about to put a plug in for the cover. The cover was
plug.
created by Caleb White. Caleb White from 7FX Graphics, I think it is, something like that. But Caleb White did the cover.
Oh, okay, cool.
Do you have a seminar, workshop, or something happening soon, like from the book? Or I was just wondering that, like
not from the book
club or women's circle, women's talk.
So one of the doctors in our church just asked me about that. She said we need to get a book club going.
Yeah.
So she and I are supposed to be talking Sunday to try to figure out how to get that going.
Love it.
Yeah.
All right. Good stuff. Good stuff.
Yeah, that'll be coming up soon.
Yay!
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I thought he was finna ask you something. I was scared.
You didn't know.
I'm being good today.
I'm very proud of you. I'm very proud of you for being good. Yeah. Listen, we're gonna see you guys next week.
Bye,
Thank you again, and good night. Good night. Good night.
Let's talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Let's talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk. Let's talk. Conversations that cool. Kitchen talk. Let's talk. What you wanna talk about? Kitchen talk. Let's talk. Conversations that cool. Let's talk. Let's talk.